My name is Rachael Dietkus. I'm 44 years old.
And my name is Lucas O'Brien. I'm 23 years old. I'm curious. We've also talked a lot this week about you being a mom and the parental role, and it's been really really awesome as a young person in a workplace, recent graduate, seeing that the parents in the workplace don't compromise their roles as parents. In their professional position, if anything, they allow it to enhance them. Bringing Viv into work and like letting her be a part of the space, and also just like seeing her work in some of our space has been inspiring and also just like super fun. So I'm curious, like, at what point did becoming a parent in the workplace become? Was it a natural choice, or was it an intentional choice to be a mom who showed up and not just a person coming to work?
Wow. I don't think I've ever, this is something that is probably a constant thought on my mind. So I started at the VA in November of 2010, found out I was pregnant less than 2 months later. And so my whole first year of being a new social worker and being pregnant and should be super excited was just nothing but it wasn't miserable, but it was so stressful, so stressful. And and so I made I made a choice during that pregnancy um to really be the mom and the social worker and the spouse and friend and colleague that the combination of all the factors of what I never had, and to try the best of my ability to be an example of being present and appreciating like all those moments. And have these occasional waves where I think back to, Martin Luther King Jr. weekend in 2011, which was when I, had those early signs of having a miscarriage and assuming that I was no longer pregnant, and then having to wait a long weekend before I could go to the doctor and then find out that uh, that I was still pregnant, but there were um, two distinct, sacs. One was empty, and one had a tiny little like blip that was her heartbeat. And it just, I mean, I'll never forget that. There's no way I could ever forget that. And the fact that she survived is literally, I'm so non-religious, but it's an absolute miracle that she actually survived and that she's here. And she's, as you know, this super fun, awesome, sarcastic,
Yeah, Viv's the best.
cool kid.
Yeah,
She has her own little cubby at work.
yeah.
And I think about the different times where I have taken her to work over the years, and times where it was various environments where she's welcomed with open arms, or where I've noticed where she's been uncomfortable for whatever reason. It could be the stage that she's at in her life, or the way that people react to her. She has this strawberry blonde hair, bright blue eyes, and just freckles. I mean, she's cute as a button. I'm biased when I say that, but she's super super cute.
Yeah.
And I'm mindful of how she wants to be in spaces, and in a way to encourage her to be herself and to be present, but also to not have to be performing. I think sometimes parents can, like, we expect our children to behave a certain way when they're in certain spaces. Like, now you're here, like I want to show you off, and of course I want to do that, but I also want her to be comfortable. I want her to come to those spaces. And so when I think about Siebel Center for Design, and when she's come into our temporary space, she and as she's gotten to know different people, her comfort level is at ease. When she's seen, people like you and Rachel and Jake, and there's a familiarity that is building. And I think it's important to for 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 kids to be able to experience that in their parents' workplaces to the best that opportunity provides, so that they can so that we can maybe wonder what it's like for them to contribute to that. I mean, in so many ways, I feel like I work so hard because of her. You know, I work hard because of me. There's an intrinsic motivation, but I I want to do good in the world for her and for her friends and for your future kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's those contributions that we make now that are going to have such a significant impact on their little lives now and in the future.